I'm Taylor Zarzour, and this is the OTP. Miss Wells, the Titans were right there for 60 minutes, and that's a good thing. We have not seen that happen in quite some time. They were leading the football game early. They were right there at halftime. They had a chance to take the lead in the third quarter. They were right there through four quarters, all the way to the end. Hard-fought loss to a playoff-caliber team, playoff team from last year, the LA Chargers, 27-20 the final at Nissan Stadium. It was a bit brisk. We had fall conditions at Nissan Stadium.
Taylor, another week where you started the broadcast with, what an amazing day.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Oh, no, here we go again.
I was wearing a hat that was gifted to me by Matt Thompson, one of our equipment people, because I looked so cold. I had on not one, not two, but 3 coats.
Really?
And I had 4 hand warmers in various pockets. Now, I will say that I think that part of this, it was supposed to maybe hit 50. I don't think it ever did.
It didn't.
And the sun never came out.
That's true.
And there was a breeze. It wasn't windy. It wasn't gusty like 2 weeks ago, but there was a breeze, so the air was moving. It was chilly pups. And part of this is because
3 layers with temperatures in the 40s?
Part of it's because I'm old now, and I understand that.
Okay.
There was a time in my life where I was on the sidelines for a game in Pittsburgh while it was snowing, and I was wearing like a dress and high boots, and I was like, only my knees are out. This is fine. And I made it through the whole game, and I was like, no, I'm not cold. This is great. And now I'm freezing. So the only thing that I can figure is that I am old, and my skin is thin now, but I was very chilly.
Okay, well, we're getting a little high maintenance here, Amy. You got mad at me for hot temperatures early in the season.
Because you said it wasn't that hot, and it was like 110 on the field. And then you said it's a brisk fall day, but like it's pretty cold down here.
Which one would you prefer?
Oh, definitely the hot.
Really?
Yeah, cold can kick rocks.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I agree with you. And by the way, I used to be the opposite. And
Yeah.
I think for the same reasons, because I'm old and because I have thin skin.
Thin
yes,
skin.
Literally and figuratively. Yeah, I think you're right. I'd rather the heat than the cold. But I guess the point was it felt like football.
It did feel like football. It felt like football. It was a good game to watch. It was fun to watch for 60 minutes of football. And that was really exciting. Like, to feel like the Titans are in it. This game is never out of reach. You're ahead for a period of time. Like, this felt like a game that the Titans, one or two things go in a different way, and the Titans win.
I do feel like they're coming, that the wins are going to come this season, and that they're close, and this was a sign of that. After the open week, the Titans should get back some of their most important players for the back end of the season. Notably, Jeff Simmons would be one of those guys, but certainly there are others. But I do want to know this. Instead of describing what a win feels like, I do want you to describe what big plays feel like on the sideline. When Cody Barton stepped in front of where Justin Herbert was trying to throw the football, and it was a pick six instantly. I mean, you knew he was going to score a touchdown. What did that feel like to stand next to the Titans when that happened?
Oh, gosh, it's phenomenal, especially because of who it was. And you can tell the players on the sideline who this team just across the board rallies around. This guy's a leader of everybody, not just his position group, not just his side of the ball. This is a guy that everybody respects, everyone enjoys playing with. And so the excitement, not that people don't get excited for everybody making a play, but there's just a little something like, yeah, that's our guy, you know? And so seeing everybody run out onto the field to congratulate him, seeing how fired up he got about that moment was so cool. It was the same thing with Chimere Dike when he ran that return back for a touchdown. I mean, everyone exploded.
I was pretty excited.
Like, you were excited, so the voice in my head's freaking out. The people around me are freaking out. And I talked about it on the broadcast, but it is worth mentioning again. Bones Fossil and Mike McCoy run at each other and jump up and chest bump in the middle of just the air in front of me.
I love it.
And it was it was just genuine joy and excitement for a guy and for a group that doesn't get a lot of joy and excitement. I mean, people don't cheer about special teams like that a lot. Mm-hmm. And so to see that celebration and the vertical by the Titans coaching staff, I mean, my goodness, the athleticism.
Bones has definitely got some.
They've got some ups.
Yeah, he definitely does.
It was pretty impressive. But really, it's just those moments are the moments that we live for. And I wish that every Titans fan individually could stand where I'm standing, like just once, to feel that, because it's so much easier to love a team when you get to have those moments and you feel the genuine joy that they feel. Now, I wouldn't suggest watching the entire game from where I stand because you can't see anything. So, but to be there for a minute would be cool.
It's funny you mentioned Cody Barton and how fired up he was and how much everyone loves being around him. He is just he's a bucket filler of a person.
Yep.
He is he just has a great attitude. He loves football. You can understand why he quickly became a captain in his first season with the Titans. After the game, I was in the locker room, and he said, "Hey, can I hear your call?" And I was like, "Yeah."
That's cute.
Yeah, and played it for him, and he was excited. He was like, "Man, I almost had another." In the third quarter, he said, "I absolutely knew the play, and I knew what Herbert was going to do, and he's ready to step in front of it again." And his eyes get real big, and he's like, "This is going to happen again." And T'Vondre Sweat deflected the Herbert pass, which prevented Barton from picking it off and scoring. He's like, "That's great, T'Vondre. You did exactly what you were supposed to do, but
you ruined my moment, man."
Instead of an incomplete pass, which is what it was, it would have been another pick six. But Cody is he really is. He's just an incredible teammate. And you know what you just said about those two coaches and what the sideline was like really is an example of how connected this team still is. And it's hard to do. When you're 1-8, it's really hard to have a locker room filled with guys that still are so connected. Another thing that you reported during the game is another example of how connected the team still is, and that is its best player, who's been out for a couple of weeks with an injury, is acting as if he's a coach on the sidelines because of how connected he still is to the team. And his unit played their brains out on Sunday. I'm talking about Jeffrey Simmons. The guys that line up right behind Jeffrey, Draymond Jones and Jihad Ward, lived in the backfield. They both had more than 5 quarterback pressures. They both had sacks in the game. T'Vondre Sweat and James Lynch and Sebastian Joseph Day on the defensive line were outstanding in this game. But that says a lot about Jeffrey Simmons, that guy is acting as an extra defensive line coach while he's out of the lineup.
Yeah, he's got the headset in, like he's listening in the little radio. And anytime he sees something on the field, he goes straight over to those guys and starts telling them what to do. He's like getting down and trying to help them through technique things, trying to help them through what he's seeing, how they should approach things, how he would approach it, what they're doing. I mean, he's just such a helpful extra set of eyes down there on the sidelines for a group of guys that, I mean, other than Sebastian Joseph Day, is either pretty young or pretty new to this Titans team still. So it's incredibly helpful to have him there. He is he's just so passionate about the game. Like, you can tell he wants to be out there playing and contributing. And that's leadership. Like, that's exactly what you want in a guy like that. And I just feel so fortunate that he is a part of this team and that he's so willing to, even though he can't be out there doing what he wants to be doing, he's willing to take the time to pour into those other guys and make sure that they are doing everything they possibly can to get that win.
Amie, we will talk about some things to improve on. I know that Coach McCoy wants to talk about the short yardage situations near the goal line, trying to get a first down. I know he wants to talk about scoring more points offensively. We will get to that with Coach McCoy coming up here in just a few minutes. But first, the pinnacle moment of the game. I got pretty excited. maybe too excited.
No, normal amount of excitement.
Okay,
it's good.
Pinnacle Bank, the official bank of your Tennessee Titans. Sign up for Titans banking exclusively at Pinnacle. Visit titansbanking.com, member FDIC. Amy, what's it like to be around an NFL team during a bye week?
It's great because you're not. I mean, you're not. You're not around an NFL team. Everybody's gone. No, that was dramatic. Really, it's the rest time that everybody thinks it is. It's a time for everybody to get away, clear their heads, get the treatment they need, rest, recover, and then start fresh when you come back.
And it's as much a mental reset.
100%. So I joke a lot about this is the time that I take naps, and I don't think I'm alone in that. I think a lot of people take naps during bye weeks because that's really just a time to exhale for a second. So much of this, the football season as a whole is just the same over and over again, which is great. It's routine. It's regimented. It's perfect for just the cadence of an NFL season. But it's exhausting. It's grueling. And for these guys, it's really hard on their bodies. So to take the time, recover from injury, mentally take a break, really shut down, and also kind of maybe do a quick little self-scout. Where am I? Where do I want to be? What do I need to improve in the second half of this season? This is a good midpoint bye, which is really nice. A lot of teams are not fortunate to get bye weeks at this point in the season like we did. So it's a good point to kind of reassess, regroup, and then continue on through the second half of the season. And we'll see if maybe having this minute to kind of reset is what this Titans team really needs, and then they can finish the season strong.
Yeah, and with those 3 home games coming up after that here at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, I know that's something that everyone is really excited about. So am I. I know you are too, and hopefully some more pieces coming back to the Titans for those games. Houston Texans will be in Nashville on November the 16th, and then the Seattle Seahawks are here on the Sunday before Thanksgiving. The Jacksonville Jaguars are here the Sunday after Thanksgiving. And then Will Bowling gets to wear 3 layers on the Pinnacle sidelines in Cleveland, Ohio, the first Sunday in December.
Oh, he's going to need more than 3 layers. Yeah. Bundle up, Willie. It's going to be chilly.
He will not be showing his knees.
No, he will not be showing his knees. Those knees will be fully covered because he's going to be chilly. I'm confident.
You deserve a break, my friend. Have a great one this week.
I will. You too.
Hey, fun announcement before we go. The OTP this week is with Mike Borgonzi, the general manager of the Tennessee Titans.
Yep, you're going to get the opportunity to chat with him a little bit, and I'm really excited to be able to show that to the OT people and give them the opportunity to kind of get a state of the union here.
Will there be cookies?
Maybe.
Okay, good.
I'll let you know.
We do eat cookies and brownies, and Coach Mack ate all of the brownies last week. So we actually might need some more cookies and brownies for that.
We'll call Christy Cookie.
And then you will be back for the OTP where you belong when we get back next week. Coach McCoy is going to join us coming up next.
Hey, football fans, satisfy your halftime hunger with Snickers, and you could win sweet prizes this NFL season. Visit Snickers.com/halftime to enter and view the official rules. Pick up Snickers at a Kroger near you. When you bring Hellman's Creamy Buffalo Chicken Dip to the watch party, you can cheer too loud, or block the TV, or be a couch coach, and no one will eject you from the game. That's a Hail Mayo. Hellman's, the official mayo of the Tennessee Titans. Titans fans, SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of Tighten Up and here to help you experience all the action this season. SeatGeek makes it easy to find the perfect seats to the perfect game so you can be part of all the touchdown celebrations and momentum-shifting takeaways this season. Whether you're getting tickets to Titans games or to any live event in Nashville, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Tennessee Titans. Hey Titans fans, with a Kroger Boost membership, you'll score big with double fuel points, free delivery, and lots more. Go to Kroger.com/boost for details. Kroger, the official grocer of the Tennessee Titans. Tighten up.
Coach, you play this game to win the game, so I'm sure there is some frustration that the Chargers won it 27-20. Do you get encouragement as you reflect back on this game with the way that your team competed?
Well, yeah, there's a number of things that they did well, but it's about winning, and we got to find a way to make the plays the appropriate time when they present themselves and go out and win the game. So it is, there's a lot of good in it. When you look at games, that's every game you look at, you say, hey, there's a lot of good things you did, but there's other things that there's a reason why you're not winning those games. And that's the one thing as coaches, you always sit down on Mondays and talk to the players about, hey, this is the difference between winning and losing.
And if you look at specific plays, I'm sure those plays around the goal line would probably be the first ones you would look at as your offense had a chance to cash it in and score a touchdown there. Is that kind of first in your mind when you think of those plays in the game?
No doubt. You go in there, you get the lead, you score a touchdown on either one of those two plays. You think you're going to score on, you don't, and then next thing you know, it goes the other direction and they score. So it's a tough turnaround to look at, but that's what you got to do to win games. You have to score there. You're on the 1 yard line. You're running the ball down there, but we got to find a way to get in the end zone.
Yeah, and I know that as you scrutinize that for your own self, for your coaching staff, and with your players, those are the plays throughout your career that have kept you up, right? There have been plenty of them that have gone your way too, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning thinking, God, what could have we done different at some point in time during the game? And that's what you do as a coach. You think about all those things, and you spend all that time game planning. And not everything always works out exactly the way you want it to, but that's coaching and that's playing, and you're trying to do everything you possibly can to help these players win.
But I will tell you that I left the stadium and thought to myself, man, we are close. And this team is showing real progress. In your first couple of weeks as the head coach, this is a team that is fighting, like equally in the game for 30 minutes, just couldn't turn it into 60. This past weekend, I felt leaving the stadium, you did. Your team turned that into a 60-minute competition, and the next step is winning the football game. I felt that way because of the non-offensive touchdowns that you got in the game, and I felt that way because of the pressure your defense constantly gave a really good Chargers offense.
Yeah, that was great to see. The defensive pressure, give Denard and the defensive staff and the players a lot of credit for the way they got after the quarterback. That was a big thing going into it. Justin's a phenomenal quarterback. He's one of the best in the business, the way he gets back there, but we made it very uncomfortable for him, the way the guys got after him, which is great to see. Just the number of sacks you have, the number of times you get after him, that's what it's all about. So we've got to build defensively off of that, the success we had.
Specifically about the pressure, was it more around the edge pressure that the Titans were getting on the Chargers, or was it interior pressure they were getting? Because to me, it looked like it didn't matter where it came from.
Well, I think that's what the good teams do is they rush the quarterback, whether you're pushing from the inside. There's only so many places a quarterback could go. Maybe it's a pressure to one side, and it forces the quarterback to the other side. So I just think if you look at it, throughout the game, we were getting after him in a number of different ways. And I think that's what good teams do. And it wasn't just one guy. There was a number of people that were making pressures. And then, to kind of complement that, you have to have good coverage in the back end, because there's certain times where he's going to hold the ball a little bit longer. Or if there's a pressure and you're too soft, he spits the ball out. It's out of his hands. So, give the back end some credit on some of those pressures too.
Cody Barton had the pick six to start the game, and Nissan Stadium was rocking because of it. Yeah. That's his third interception of the season.
That's what the game's all about. You love when the players go out there and energize the fans. That's what the fans want to see. So what a great play by him. Just recognize pattern recognition of what they're doing, how they're going to do it. It was thrown right to him. Unfortunately, later in the game, there was a ball that was tipped that he might have had the same result.
Yeah.
And it probably hit him right in the chest, and the ball was tipped in line of scrimmage, which we're fine with because it's an incomplete pass. But he was ready for another one.
Yeah, Amy and I were just talking about that in the previous segment. I was with Cody in the locker room afterwards, and he was like, Tavondre did his job there, but he's like, gosh, that was going to hit me in the chest again. And he thought he might have had a second one there. Who else should be singled out, Coach, defensively? I mean, Draymond Jones and Jihad Ward were in the backfield a bunch. Cedric Gray, 16 more tackles.
Yeah, there's so many good things. I wouldn't just say one person. I mean, the amount of pressure we got, that's the whole entire group. But I think both Cody and Sed, the way they played the running game too, downhill, going at them and, being physical, and that's what we need from those two guys. So it was a great game by those two guys, and obviously the pass rush outstanding. You can't ask for anything more up front.
And then in special teams, Chimry DK does it again. Now, in my call, at the end of my call, I said there are no flags on the field, and some listeners, I think, understood why I said that because I have called another Chim DK punt return for a touchdown, and it was not allowed as there was a flag that was thrown on the field, and I'm not still sure about it, but nevertheless, that's
if
part.
It was thrown, it's a penalty.
That's part of the game. There were no flags on this one. This guy gives you a chance every time he touches the football.
The great thing about it is Bones and Stu all week long told everyone. We go on the Wednesdays. You talk about the keys to victory, and you talk to the team about what we need to do, and we talked about it. If we just take care of these certain players, and he gets one guy to miss. If he makes them miss, what's going to happen? And that's exactly what he did. And you just see the little technique of everybody, of all 11, doing their job the right way, whether it was at the line of scrimmage, whether it was downfield, whereas as he's running, it was execute. It comes down to execution, and they all did a phenomenal job. So I couldn't be happier for Jim, just the way he works, and he loves the game. He loves being out there. I mean, he said something to me this morning about his blocking in the run game that he was. It's just like, listen, bud, you play so hard. You play the way we want you to play, and there's a reason why you're having success.
That guy just loves football,
he
doesn't
loves
he?
Ball. Well, we've got a great team here, and when I say that is that the way these guys work, and I told them that in the team meeting, is that they work extremely hard during the work week. Monday through all leading up to the game and everything, and then you see the plays that these guys make on game day. We just got to make more of them.
Yeah, there is a real strength and connection with this team that you have. There's no question about that, and I think that's why everyone wants to see them succeed. Amie was referencing just how connected Jeffrey Simmons was throughout the game on the sideline, watching the game, trying to help.
Yeah, when you just started talking about this, I'm like, that's the guy I would say. You just see, he's dying to be out there. He works so hard in the training room trying to get back. But then as you watch the game, doesn't matter what phase it is, and you see the sideline, you look at the sideline, and here's Big Jeff running up and down the sideline, doing things, complimenting guys when they're coming off the field, talking to the younger players, trying to help everybody out. And that's just, what he means to this franchise. And he does so much, and his leadership, having played against him the last 3 years, knowing what kind of player he is. I mean, it's a nightmare trying to game plan against him. The 3 years I was in Jacksonville, but then getting here and seeing how he's taken over the team, since we got into training camp, and his leadership, and then being out, seeing the way he is with the team, it's unbelievable.
I love hearing that. Offensively, it doesn't feel like you have a consistent execution issue. It feels like there's just a play. Once you have started a drive and you've gotten some momentum, maybe into the opponent's territory, that sets you back. Is that accurate?
Well, unfortunately, this week we had more penalties than we've had in the last 2 weeks. I think we had 3 of each, the New England game and Indy game total. And what did we have, 7 the other day, or early in the game? So it's like, we got to avoid that. And, when you get in, you cross that 50 and you start getting in, especially with our kicker, is you get to a certain point. If we just get a little, whether it's a long field goal or it's avoiding being in third or second and long, so you have a higher percentage, a better chance of converting things on third and short to medium, and not put yourself in a third and long situation. So we got to do a better job of eliminating the little mistakes so we can stay heading down a distance, because it's not easy to convert in third downs in this league. And the longer it is, the harder it is. So we got to do a better job of eliminating the self-inflicted wounds we've had, and just be more consistent throughout 60 minutes of a game.
Yeah, the third and longs is what you want to stay away from, because those are obvious passing situations, and the defense is going to bring pressure, and you want those that are easier to convert, certainly. What did you think of the way that Tajay Spears played in this game, Coach? He kind of served as a safety valve there for Cam Ward and the offense, not just running the ball, but especially catching it out of the backfield.
Yeah, if you look back at all the games this year, when we've gotten the ball, not just to Tajay, but all of our skilled players, on the checkdowns, more often than not, they're going to make that first guy miss. There's been a number of them you watch week in and week out. When you get the ball, you think it's a completion on a check down 5 yards down the field, and all of a sudden they get going, they squirt out of there. It's a 10-plus gain. It's an explosive play somehow. We got to do more of that.
Now, you have the bye. And I know it's so important for the team to have a mental and physical reset during this time. But as I said earlier, you can see progress on the field each week in these last few weeks. How do you maintain that progress so you can turn it into a win?
Well, I think number one, the players have got to get away. Get away, take a deep breath, and just understand, like I mentioned to the rookies, is that, normally right now you're 12 weeks in, your season's over. Some guys are going to bowl games, depending on where you're playing, this and that.
Right.
But it's just coming back Monday with the right mindset of what we need to do moving forward, getting ready for Houston, and just everybody really trying to find a way, because there's so many positives. When you look at things, there's give and take to every game. There's good and bad, regardless what the score is. You look at it, you say, hey, there's these great plays. There's plays you got to do better. Or you got to improve certain things. It's like, okay, how do we each individually, coaches, players, everyone in the organization, how do we get a little better? How do we eliminate a few of the mistakes that we've made in the first, part of the season, and just and build off the positives? Okay, learn from the negatives. Okay, minimize the negatives and have more positives. When the plays, don't chase plays, but when the plays are there, we got to be more consistently make the play that's there. And then, we got to score more, and that'll lead to us scoring more points on offense.
Now, are you the kind of person, while your daughter comes to town with her new dog, I believe, are you the kind of person that can't always escape it, and you're going to, for 5 or 10 minutes, oh, man, I just thought of something. I got to write this down, or I got to text one of our assistant coaches. I got to text Nick. I just thought of this. Are you that kind of guy, or do you completely disconnect?
Are you asking me or my wife? My wife would say I never completely disconnect from all the football stuff. You wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you write things down.
Yeah.
All these types of things. So, I will disconnect to a certain extent and get away from it. But there always will be things that come up. I'm sure someone will be calling me about something that's come up, this and that, and that's just all part of it. I'll think of things, I'll watch a little Houston tape, I'm sure, at some point in time, and just kind of do some things. And, I'll spend the next couple of days kind of evaluating what we're doing here right now, and, in all three phases, and kind of think what we need to do moving forward.
Everett Gearlings with a shout out. I love that. Yep. He does a great job with our communications team, and I know you have an army of people around you that are so well connected, Coach. And I know close doesn't matter, but it does feel like your team is awfully close, which hopefully does matter for the future.
Yeah, we've got to play 60 minutes of complimentary football, and we're always going to say that. There's always going to be room for improvement. We've got to find a way to win the next one. That's the most important thing. But I really want these players to get away from it until next Monday. I'm going to come back in with the right mindset of say, let's figure this out together. We're all in this together. We're going to hold each other accountable, and let's go win a game.
Home is at the forefront of all we do. It's why we're so committed to caring for the places and spaces in which we work and live. Ashley, the official furniture provider of the Tennessee Titans. Genesis is the first and only official jeweler of the Titans, having earned that title since 2006. Titans players, coaches, and fans trust Genesis for the absolute best in selection, quality, customer service, and of course, value. For diamonds, engagement rings, designer fashion jewelry, and the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in Tennessee, Genesis is the hands-down winner. Genesis Diamonds in Green Hills and Cool Springs, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans. Little Caesars is the official pizza partner of your Tennessee Titans. Download the Little Caesars app and get your favorites delivered today. Delivery fees apply. Now back to the OTP.
He is the senior editor and writer for TennesseeTitans.com. Jim DK. No, Jim Wyatt. As Rhett Bryan and I were just talking about in the previous segment, we're a little disappointed you did not dress up as Jim DK for Halloween.
That's good. That's good. And I see where I guess Teron Davenport did a video out of the game, and I guess the autocorrect changed Jim DK to Jim DK. I thought that was really funny. That was a good find on your part.
Yes, good writer for the ESPN. We love TD, good guy. And, yes, if you watch like those videos on ESPN.com, that always has the closed caption at the bottom, and it did say it corrected from Jim DK to Jim DK. And We got a big kick out of that. I tell you, we do have people in the facility like Jack Mummert, who is producing this segment, that dressed up as Coach Mack last week.
Did a
for
great
Halloween.
job too.
We have a guy named Todd that works here that dressed up as me.
Yes, that was very well done.
It was. He was my doppelganger for sure. But Chim DK would be a great Titan to try to emulate right now. What a start to his career.
Yeah, he's just fearless. I think everyone, saw early on what he could do as a returner, and then he showed it off as a receiver as well. He's fearless. He hits the hole. He not afraid to go across the middle. I remember when the decision was made at the beginning of the season to make him the punt returner, there were some people who were nervous about that as a rookie, giving him that job going into Denver week 1. And he's proven he's capable of doing it. And I think if you're looking for reasons to be optimistic about a 1-8 team, you look at guys like Chimere Dike and say, the guys making some decisions on personnel or the draft or know how to identify talent.
Jim, who's the best kick returner and or punt returner in Titans history?
I think Derek Mason. He earned a Pro Bowl spot for doing it during the 2000 season and certainly had a huge return in Jacksonville during a very memorable playoff game. I think Derek Mason is the best. I think Mark Mariani certainly has to be right up there too. Another guy that earned a Pro Bowl spot doing it, and I think in time DK may prove that he deserves to be mentioned with those guys. But Mason and Mariani have to be 1-2.
What do you think of Alec Manor through 9 games? He's caught at least 2 balls in every game he's played in the NFL.
Yeah, I think he has had a little bit more ups and downs, I think, than Chim. Chim has just been consistent from the beginning. I think Alec shows you what he's capable of. Like, he's big, he's physical. I think he's smart. I think it means a lot to him. I think he's been on a little bit of a roller coaster. Dropped a ball on Sunday that I'm sure he'd like to have back, but he's another one that I think it's great that he's playing early. Nobody likes to lose, but when you're seeing rookies play, knowing it's making them better for the future, I think that's a good development.
Jim, I want to tell you how I felt when I left the stadium on Sunday. I walked out of there to my truck, and I thought, you know what? 60 minutes of competition. It's been a minute since the Titans gave us that. They've given us 30 minutes of competition. They've had good first halves, competitive first halves in the last few weeks. They gave us 60 minutes this past week against a playoff caliber team, the Los Angeles Chargers. And I thought, you know what? If Jeff Simmons can come back after the bye against Houston, if Calvin Ridley and Arden Key, maybe Bryce Oliver, a few other guys get back and play for the Titans, like 4 big-time contributors are back for the Titans by the time they play the Houston Texans. My thought was, leaving the stadium, the Titans are going to win some games. The Titans are going to surprise some playoff teams in the back end of the season. Is that a fair thing to think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, those games Sunday are a lot tougher to take than some other ones that this team's played this year. Like, when you get handled by a couple of touchdowns, you leave and think we didn't really have a chance there. But when you lose a game 27-20 and you can't score twice from the 1-yard line and you have to let the other team turn around and drive at the length of the field, that changed the whole game. There were some other plays in that game where if you make a play here or there, the outcome might have been different. So you end up kicking yourself for letting one get away. But I agree. I think getting players back and healthy will allow this team to be competitive in a lot of these games the second half of the season. Maybe some of those guys could have played on Sunday, a bit close to it. But that's the thing about the bye week. When you get the bye week coming up on the horizon, if you give a guy a week, you get 2 weeks out of it from they get healthy. So I think a lot of guys are going to be here trying to get ready to go, and you'll see a lot of those guys that have been missing back.
Okay, so there's hope, there's optimism ahead, with those guys coming back, that the Titans are going to have some wins to come. But as you look at the overall organization right now, with those rookies we just talked about that Mike Borgonzi, the general manager, drafted, and that would include Cam Ward, Gunnar Helm, Kevin Winston, Femi Oladejo, who could come back at some point this season as well, and another draft class that Mike Borgonzi can bring in this next season. with all this money they have to spend, as they have the most money to spend in the National Football League. I'm optimistic that with all these young players that Mr. Borgonzi and the personnel department are evaluating, that the Titans are going to put a good product on the field in years to come.
Yeah, that's the hope. You got to draft well year after year after year, and I think this past year's draft class, but we've already talked about a couple of them, Ayo Manor and DK. I really like Gunnar Helm. I think Kevin Winston's going to be really good. I think Femi and Tom is going to develop. Marcus Harris playing a lot. They've got some good young players. Obviously, the quarterback's got to be good, and that's the most important one from this past year's draft class. Cam's got to settle down, play better. He played better on Sunday. They probably would have won that game. Offense didn't do its job, but I do think that Mike Bergonzi and the personnel guys, have proven that they know how to draft. I mean, again, it's just 1 year. You got to do it year after year after year, but you can keep getting young players who buy into what you're preaching and are what you're about, then that's a foundation, and that's something you can build on. I know people are frustrated by the trades and some of the departures we've seen. I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't get the Brownlee one, but it's just a simple case of the people making those decisions didn't love him as much as I did, and maybe a lot of fans did. So you move on from him and trying to do things different from a culture standpoint. The Roger McCreary one, you moved up. No, it was a swap of picks. That's what the value was. But they moved up and got a good fifth-round pick in the process there. And until then, they would have had a long gap from the top of the fourth all the way until the sixth round to pick.
Yeah.
There's like 75, 80 players that you're going to be sitting there going off the board.
Look how good a job the Borgonzi and team did in that part of the draft this past year.
Yeah, so you're back in play there, and you got ammo to move up. So nobody likes to see McCreary leave now because he's a good player, but the reality is he was not coming back. You're trying to do everything you can to help your draft class for 2026, and we'll see what else transpires, if anything else transpires.
Good stuff, Jim. Now, some of you may think, okay, Taylor and Jim have an off week this week. Titans aren't playing this weekend. What are those guys going to do? They're going to skip town? No, sir. Jim, Wyatt, and I will be at First Bank Stadium. Used to be called Vanderbilt Stadium. It used to be called Dudley Field. It's on the west side of Nashville to watch the 7-2 Vanderbilt Commodores take on the Auburn Tigers. Shameless plug, you can watch it on SEC Network at 3 o'clock. And maybe I'll invite Mr. Wyatt up to the booth.
I'm on that side. I'm in Section F, row 53. I'm not that far away from the press box. I saw my good friend Larry Leathers, former Vanderbilt SID. He came up to see me at the Vandy, Missouri game, and I think he snuck in that side door there on the press box. I don't know if that's an easy access place still at the top of my section, but I'll be there. Yeah, we've got work to do around here during the bye week, but then, as much as I'd love to see the beach sneak down to 30A, which I probably would have done if not for a Vandy home game, I'm not going to leave Nashville and Vanderbilt's playing a football game on the weekend. I don't care whether it's 2025 or 2016.
Good for you and for them.
That's just the way I've always been. I try to get to as many Vanderbilt games as I can, and this has certainly been an enjoyable year. So I'll be out there on Saturday at 3 o'clock.
I'll see you there, my friend. Look forward to calling it. Should be fun against the Auburn Tigers coming up this weekend, and then we'll get ready for the Houston Texans next week. Thank you, Jim.
Appreciate it, Taylor.
Thanks to Mr. Wyatt. Thanks to Rhett Bryan, to Amie Wells, and to Mike McCoy. I'm Taylor Zarzour. This has been the OTP.